And from that time, as the borders opened, it was like when you open the windows, a new air comes and new things, ideas, new books, new teachings, new lessons, and everything.
Welcome to a new episode of Most Memorable Journeys. My guest today has a difficult name. I was practicing before, but I hope she will forgive me if it's wrong. But she is a lot of things. I wrote down, she's a connector, an intellectual, an empath, a relator. And she is the founder of the Intuitive Wellness. Welcome to Most Memorable Journeys, Lubomira Mlcuchova. How was that?
Great. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you for having me here for this opportunity.
Thank you for being here. And there's so many things that I wrote down about you that I don't know what it is. So we are going to take one by one and find out. But first of all, I want to talk to you about the place you were born, because the place you were born has changed names. I've been to Czechoslovakia many times, but since then it's not Czechoslovakia anymore. Which side were you born? In the Czech Republic or in Slovakia?
Yes, right. In 70s, I was born in Czechoslovakia back then, but I am from Slovakia because country divided in 92, if I remember well. Yes, I consider myself Slovak, and it was quite, I cannot say easy or not easy, because as a child, we don't realize what is good or what is bad. We take it as a normal, we take it granted as community, as the country lives, what provides. So it was normal for the time being, for then.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, when I realized that we were basically, as a country, under communist system, under our Red Brother protection, as I would say now, it wasn't easy, because a country was like, they call it, behind the Iron Curtain. It was really separated east from west. We had no access to any Western influences. Only I live near Bratislava, which is close to Austrian borders. So we could, my father had the antenna, so we could get Austrian radio or Austrian TV. So we were watching some hit parades, the charts and music. So as a child, I remembered all these hits and charts and so. So that was only kind of access to the West world. But we were like ordinary middle-class family, going to school, going to family holidays by union, because, everybody was working somewhere. It was like, I would say maybe 0 or 1% unemployment. There was no such way like unemployment. Everybody had to get a job. So companies or firms provided for employees union benefits. So my parents were getting some like vouchers for certain places to go to family holidays. And we were basically traveling around Slovakia. And at some point for me, it was kind of frustrating, because we couldn't go abroad, or traveling abroad was only allowed for special permission. You had to sign some papers, something. They had to examine the situation or financial situation of family and give you special permit to travel only within countries of, I think it's Varšavská zmluva, Varsovian agreement, only, let's say, going to Yugoslavia, Bulgaria, Romania, or all these Eastern holiday destinations. And when my friends or classmates sometimes traveled to these countries and they brought, some fancy T-shirts or something, it was like, I was comparing that, we couldn't afford this, we could afford only this. And how child brain works. So the comparing was always there, like who is considered to be poor or rich or how, but the value of richness, it's completely different now as I perceive it now. So, but of course it gave you or gave me some kind of imprint of comparing value, which I realized later on how I don't call it like child trauma, but yes, is it imprint on certain perception or certain stamp in your brain or in my brain, you know?
Mm-hmm. That's very interesting, because I liked what you said at the beginning. As a child, you don't know what's right, what's wrong, what's good, what's bad. Am I missing out, or am I? And I think that's a good thing, because as a child, basically, you are just happy. You are not conditioned. You don't know anything else. So you are just fine. But of course, as you grow up, and it must have been, I like what you said about the antenna that you had, and you were probably listening to the same songs I was listening, because I'm from Switzerland. So, and so what happened then? How did you, I know, because I used to travel when I was a tour guide, I used to go to Prague in the 86, 87. And I used to go to Hungary as well. I used to go to Budapest, and I could see the difference. In Hungary, they were a little bit more progress. They had already they were one step ahead. And I could see that in Czechoslovakia, they were still quite, they were scared. When I used to ask tour guide something, they would look left and right before they replied. And so what happened really? When did you realize that this is not what I want, or this is not 100% correct?
Yes, like you said, there were like a lot of, I would say, secret services and people running undercover and really snitching on each other, because that's why people were afraid to say something loud, because you never know, even if your neighbor from next door could be secret agent or some kind of, snitch. So that's why people are really like scared to express, scared to share, and so on. And that was kind of freaking. But obviously, people, this frustration and tension was like growing and building up. And I think the big wave of all these big changes happened all over Europe. I think it started in Germany by throwing the big wall in Berlin. Then I think Czechoslovakia was second in November, when the big protests of students begin to like protesting against corruption, governments, and so on. And it was 16th of November in Bratislava, I remember. It was Friday, and the next day, 17th of November, it was in Praga. And that was the big one, because it grew up so massive that so many students protested, and then even police had to come with these water bombs, how we call it this.
Yeah.
Throwing that and to make them dismiss, but protest continued and so on, until I think in few days, the government realized they had to resign and quit. So that was a really big. And I was in age of high school, and we had no lesson for a week. Then was like general strike, and the protest every day, and it was something like huge crumbling system in the process, when we were so excited and we were like really looking forward for some change. Like we young people, maybe we didn't know, we were just, I would say, bullshitted by those who were presenting that the new era is coming. We were expecting democracy to be like, yes, we have right for everything, and we will vote whatever we want, and we will elect the government that we want. And this as it was presented for those new leaders. So anyway, new government came, building up a new country. But of course, after new system came, the leaders didn't manage to agree. So eventually Czechia and Slovakia separated. So we became Czechia and Slovakia separately as an independent country. It was from 92. And from that time, as the borders opened, it was like when you open the windows, a new air comes, and new things, ideas, new books, new teachings, new lessons, and everything. And then I was like end of high school. So I was like, I will be talking in images, because I compare it like riding the new wave. Like you go and surf with the new wave, what the new era and new time is bringing you. So that was really exciting and very like I felt that yes, the change is coming, and I finally can, how to say, to let my weirdness to grow or show or something,
Or
because
allow it to happen, because you wouldn't, you can, be who you want to be instead of having to hide something. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Because as I mentioned, I was like comparing myself, because I felt like, okay, I'm kind of weird, so I have to fit in, but the system didn't allow me to fit in. So the new system came, and new establishment, everything new, which I found some connection at some family dinner. I remember my mom's friend came over, and he was talking about some spiritual things here and there, and I was like, oh my god, what is this? I was like really tuning to my vibes immediately. And then he introduced me to I went to some lecture of some spiritual teacher or something, and he introduced me to Reiki teacher. And then was my basically first piece of puzzle on my spiritual journey, which started with the Reiki course. And then, when you once get to these circles, you meet another people, another course, another people. So it's like step by step, one after the other. And it was very exciting, because I was very young, like I was like 19, 20. I went through all three Reiki initiations, and we were with my friends there. We were like, oh, now we have Reiki. Now we're gonna, save the world. We are healers and so on. And the guy, the teacher, Reiki teacher, told us like, yes, Reiki is a technique of personal development with the side effect of healing, because the principle it is to not really transfer the energies, like channeling the energies, which is cosmic, is everywhere. So it's not that like I would give something from myself and lose myself to give to the other. It's just through certain signs and symbols. When you get it through initiation, you just pass it on to the person who needs it. And of course, then, because it kind of like rewire the being and upgrades the being with each initiation, again, new lessons and new tests are coming. And then, sorry for what shitstorm happens, because again, life brings you new lesson. You have to learn. You pass or you fail. And then if you fail, you gain new lesson, and you pass or fail. So the circle or spiral, all these lessons is just going on and going on. And that was going on. And I learned a hard time through my relationships, through the boys or boyfriend that I had back then, because as soon as I had, I think I was at one retreat when we had this with the Reiki teacher, and it was really like meditation in the woods. We had some like morning meditation, holotropic breathing, some specific techniques all over the day. It was really nicely organized. And on the end of the course, there was the fire walk. And whoever passed the fire, it was like really something wow. And when I came back home from this retreat, I realized that I am already somewhere else, and he was where he was, which he was nice guy. We loved each other, but I was shifted completely different direction, and he couldn't take it. So we had to split, obviously. And this is, I believe, with any relationships or any encountering of people in our lives, that we meet people at some point of our lives, and then we apart or we go our own ways, and it's pointless to. It's not like grieving. Yes, it's sad when people break up or divorce and so, but I was heartbroken, of course, but eventually I had to accept it and go on, and you move on, and life goes on. So.
Yeah, I think they say that generally when you meet somebody very young, you either grow together. If you manage, you grow together in the same direction. But if you don't, if you grow in different directions, which obviously happened in your case because of your spirituality, then you cannot meet again. It's impossible. You have gone in two different directions. But I am very surprised because at the age of 18, 19, people are not normally so spiritual. So you had a gift. You had a calling for this because, people at that age, they study, they do something else, it comes later. But I think that's a sign that you had this maybe healing hands.
I'm getting chills when you are saying it, because I realized that after high school, I kind of, it's not like accidentally I wanted to study medicine, but I had this calling, I would say, to study medicine. I wasn't accepted at the first time. I was trying next year again. And I also put application to study physiotherapy, which was like something similar. I said like, okay, it's something healing direction and helping people and so on. So I had this feeling that I want to help people. I want to, yes. And like you mentioned, the healing hands, I remember my father, he was like teasing me because at some point he had the painful knees, like arthritic or something. And he was going to some hot spring, which was near our town, with some mineral water. And he was like, guess which knee hurts? And I'm like trying to, catch the vibes with closed eyes. And I could feel it, really. I could feel it in my hands that left knee was hurting or was more inflamed. And back then I didn't pay attention to it. I'm like, okay, I thought it was normal. But eventually when I studied physiotherapy and working as a physiotherapist later, still or again, like I was meeting people, I was continue going to these retreats and lectures and learning about energy, because it's people say energy, it's such a big topic,
Yeah.
And I was always kind of attracted to Chinese medicine or Chinese East philosophies and Tai Chi, Chinese meridians and all this stuff. I did Shiatsu course as well. And then some color therapy and vibration frequencies and all this stuff. I was like overwhelmed, And I was using it on my patients when I worked in one specific clinic. And always they were saying like, this, like when we swap patient and he was or she was with my colleague and then they came to me, it was like, I do something different like with your colleague. So they couldn't specify what was different, but they could feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew I have this gift, like you say. And basically, while working still in Slovakia, it was my, again, kind of like soul call came to me that, am I going to stay here in Slovakia, or am I going where I'm going, or do I want to stay here? And I lived in Piešťany, which is town with the hot springs, beautiful town. I was working in the clinic there, and I used to go running or cycling along the river. And on the end of the river, there was a dam. And I came to the end, and I did my morning routine or evening stretching, some of Tai Chi exercises, and I pictured myself like when you see the sea, like you erase the background, I just saw the sea, and I could feel myself like I am somewhere like exercising on the beach or somewhere near to the sea. And that time of my life, I was like on the crossroad, and I was really hesitating, like, shall I stay and continue this way, like freelancer in Slovakia, or shall I go abroad? But where? And I remember at one of these lectures, I was like, contemplating, and our teacher, I asked him, like, what do you think about this? Like, shall I go here and there? And he was like, when you stand on the crossroad, you just stand and nothing is moving. But once you take a first step on either direction, the universe will like conspire and give you roadblocks or the signs on that direction where you are supposed to go for your goal, for your aim, for your destination.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay. I was like, okay, I'm going abroad. So I fell asleep and I took my decision, direction abroad. That was 12th of February, 2001. 12th of March, in a month, I got a phone call from my previous colleague from the clinic. Actually, it was her friend, because they had kind of like a working agency to find people for abroad. And she called me like, we heard you are physiotherapist, and I have one position for Cyprus. And I'm like, Cyprus, I try to picture in the map if it was Cyprus or Crete. I was always confused. And I'm like, okay, so let's have a talk, tell me more. And she said there is a position in one hotel health club in Limassol, and I can arrange a call with the bosses, with the managers. How is your level of English, your level of talking, your certificate, and so on? You can speak and you can arrange. So we had a call, and then they started procedure of arranging my visa. But it wasn't easy because in 2001 we were still not part of Europe, so they were still in process of waiting for my work permit, but they needed me. And eventually they said, like, okay, we bring you here for tourist visa, and then we will arrange the rest. 12th of April, 12 to 13, I had the night flight. I was flying. So it was February, March, April, month after month. And I landed in Cyprus with 2 suitcases. I had no idea who is waiting for me. They came to wait me in the 3:00 in the morning. And I was like, I don't have any, like, no mobile, no phone call. I'm like, if they're gonna kill me or throw me out of the highway in the middle of it, I have no idea really. But I came and I ended up here. But it was really professional downgrade, because from the specialized clinic of specialized for rheumatoid arthritis and the connective tissue diseases, I came to hotel health spa or
massage.
health club.
Yeah.
Just massage, and I went to break my fingers on these people. Sorry for saying, but it was a really tough year.
Yeah. But you were on the sea.
I was at the sea. I was in the country of Cyprus. And then, of course, once you are here, you are young, nice little girl. And we had, even with my friend, because she came later after me, so we were like 2 Slovaks working and living together. And of course, we had enough of men's offers, so they wanted parea, company. Let's go here. Yeah. So this is how I ended up with my first ex-husband. And anyway, we got together. We were married, but on Cyprus manners, it wasn't as expected from Cyprus point of view. So I would say, thanks God, we didn't have children back then, because it was just like getting married. I had nice experience. That's it. And our paths went apart.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh. And of course, I was thinking, shall I go back to Slovakia? Shall I stay? And then, okay, I met another guy. So we are normal human beings. So people want connection. So why not? And that was now ex-husband number 2. But okay, we had again like nice relationship, really good time traveling. We have a beautiful son together. We are now co-parents, because he remarried. He has new family, new baby. I mean, my son has his little brother, so they are like really thanks God we are in good terms.
It's very civil. It sounds very civilized.
Yeah. We are. I would say like I can't like I can have the best ex ever if it sounds nice. Really, I cannot say any bad on him. So thanks God. Thanks God on these things. But during divorce time, it was so tough, and so because I was with my son and he was like 2 years and something, few months. So I was totally psycho-wreck, and if even with the help of psychologists and my friends and families, I had time enough to recover and go through this tough time. And I would say that one amazing book which helped me a lot was from Clarissa Pinkola, Women Who Run with the Wolves. I don't know if you heard about it.
Oh, but I'm writing it down.
Highly recommend it because it's like anatomy of the woman's soul. She describes the phases of woman's soul, from this naive and young soul of woman who is believe a man, and she describes it beautifully through the legends, fairy tales, and like from different ethnicities. So it's an amazing book. So everyone or every woman find herself in specific stage of evolution of the soul, I would say, because you are naive, then you are broken, then you have to put yourself together, get back together until you like upgrade, then you evolve, then you even integrate the male part in your anima with animus, with the male and female parts of the soul, let's say. And until the soul is, let's say, complete, she doesn't need completion with another things. Once she's complete, she just attracts the partner who is equally quality with her. So he just joins her. So it's a beautiful book. And I must add to this that even before this, my divorce, my mom divorce was some years ago, years while I was in Slovakia, but then she was diagnosed with oncologic illness and she went through her hard times. And that made me realize that, like, am I repeating her pattern, or am I, and I, like, we always say, like, I don't want to end up like my mom, I don't want to be like my father, and so and so, but certain patterns are repeated in family. But if we get aware of it, we can break the pattern, we can break the chain. And I'm like, okay, so it's not like, what do you want to avoid? You are afraid that things you attract more. But that made me realize, and that actually inspired me to, like, get much more to awareness of how relationships are so connected with our health. And because I am physiotherapist and I studied physio, later on, like, while last few years, I did more of the coaching trainings and coaching techniques, because I said, like, if I have this knowledge, why not to pass it on and give it to another women? And that basically made me create this intuitive wellness profile, or call it coaching services, because it's coaching, guiding. And yes, I had to go through more training again in order to learn, let's say, how this online business works, because it's like everything is online now. Everybody does courses and trainings and everything. So it's like, yes, I have to learn. It's a technical must. And during these mentoring trainings, I also had trainings, or it was like Find Your Purpose program. And funny things was funny, but not funny. It basically confirmed me what I knew, or what I what I felt.
But you knew because your intuition had already told you a lot of things. It was just a confirmation. It's very often just a confirmation when you learn these things. You know that you know them.
Yes, exactly. And actually from numerology report or human design report or Gallup and Clifton talent work test, which is like really psychologically well created test of the best top talents and less talent. So all these different techniques basically emerge to the big picture, or they, as you said, confirm me that yes, I am empath. I have sense to connect dots that maybe the others not. I have the knowledge that I have to give people, because that's the strongest part as well. And so that's why I wish to women to understand their relationship or the quality of a relationship, and to be like more tuned with their intuition and with their soul, because this is the saying of this Clarissa Pinkola, the author of Women Who Run the Wolf. She said that we all have this wild part of our soul is the one who runs with the wolf, and we don't let that part to be minor, I call it, pushed down or embarrassed or damaged or so on. So is that el que sabe, the one who knows. That's the description. So it was amazing.
You know, you were saying something about this before. Something that I often hear and I don't like. People introduce their partner as their other half. And I don't like that, because we are not half. You know,
exactly.
And that's exactly what you were saying. Before we can be with somebody, we have to be whole. And then we attract the asset, the other part, but we are both a whole thing. And people say it for fun. I'm not saying it that it's wrong to say it, but somehow it always kind of it rings a bell. No, I'm not. It's not your other half. It's just your equal partner.
Yes, exactly. It's like I'm not half, so why would I need another half? So
exactly. But tell me, because we are already very, very far into this episode, if somebody wants to ask you for help, who is your ideal client?
Women who have chronic illnesses or chronic conditions, and they don't know what to do with them, because women suffer from headaches, they suffer from hormonal disbalance, they suffer digestive problems, some aches and pains of unknown origin. They run around doctors, they don't know why. Okay, I always ask if they have any specific diagnosis from the doctor. I'm not playing savior, or I'm your guru, or I'm your god, and I'm not a healer. I will not promise the healing. I will promise guiding to tap or to connect with the inner. I call it journey to your inner healer, because this is the program that I work on to create a course online. Journey to your inner healer, to learn or teach people how everything is connected, from mindset, from emotional being up to physical level, how to tune with the intuition, and how to decode the signals or patterns in the physical body. And there are techniques, or my guidance, it's kind of like assisting or guided meditation with the kind of quantum healing, or I don't know. There are techniques which they are, and with different names. So I just figured out my own way, and everyone is so unique. Mm-hmm. There are no two people I had that I did same things twice. So first of all, is talk, like you need to get the history and blah blah, how it's what's going on, and then with the knowledge that I have, I create, like I see it always like the map in my head, where to tap or where to direct. if I have a feeling, yes, maybe you need acupuncture, I can recommend acupuncture. If you need chiro, I can send you to chiropractor. But the main thing, main trigger, they must start from themselves, from inside. And this I call myself guide or like catalyst, that I'm just poke them. I will kick your ass, so you will do the job. So it's not on me, it's on you.
Yeah. But this is generally, what all of us who do this kind of thing, because I do hypnotherapy and I'm a life coach. That's what I always tell people, because sometimes people ask me, can you change me? And I say, no, I cannot change you. You can change you, but I can help you change. You see, I can hold you by the hand for a while until you can walk alone. And I think that's what you said very wisely before. You can create a roadmap. You can create a path, but they have to go there themselves.
Yes, exactly. It's like I was on the path, and if somebody told me, or I was expecting some healing from the others, and I couldn't understand why healer cannot heal, although he claims he's or she's a healer, and then still shit is happening to that person. And then I understood, yes, if I don't do my own job, even with the guidance or even with the help, it's like walking on crutches.
Yeah.
You can have them for a while, but at some point you get stronger and you just throw the crutches away or sticks, and the person is strong enough to go on their own feet or to go. So that it's, and this is, I would say, the biggest satisfaction when I see that people are getting better and healthier, or in ways their life changes. Even I saw that at some people, even if they break up, but it's in good way, because I knew that the woman, she was in toxic relationship or marriage, and eventually she had strength to step out of this. So yes, I'm like that catalyst, with the help of, I'm just
Yes, but you cannot fix people. They can fix themselves. And I think that's the bottom line of all this. We're getting to the end, my dear Lubka. I think we've covered most of the things that I wanted to know, because I had a kind of list of, and you just replied before I even asked the questions, you already gave me the answer. So this has been very, very interesting. Do you go back to Slovakia regularly?
Yes, we travel. I take my son every year. We travel because I have my family there, so I inspire him to speak Slovak. He learns, but he replies in Greek, so that's challenge, because he's more in Greek environment. But when he wants. It's
and just don't stop, because he will, whatever he hears, he will remember. I think that's it's worth giving it a try.
Yeah, of course. And actually, what I would add, if we have another minute.
Yes, go ahead.
No, just crossed my mind that when I came to realization of my purpose this 2 or 3 years ago, I believe everyone has to find their purpose, their ikigai, to find what they really love, what they enjoy, what is paid for, and to improve their own being, and therefore improve the relationship, and therefore improve the society or small communities, and therefore the humanity. So it's like building blocks from tiny pieces of puzzle. So we each of us is responsible for changing the world. I don't know, it sounds like cliche, because everybody change the world, but we have to start from ourselves. It's even if you move from country to country and people are not happy there or here and there, or in Alaska or in, I don't know, Congo, wherever, still, if you, or they are not happy from themselves, from inside, no matter where on the earth they live. So that would be kind of my message to.
Yeah, and that is so true. It's kind of about having a victim mentality. You have to take responsibility for your life, as you say. And if there is something there that you don't like, and you were mentioning it is a block of different, then you have to change it. And if you don't change it, then you have to, if you cannot change it, then you have to learn to accept it, because otherwise you're never going to be happy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I think that's a good end to this episode. Thank you so much for being on Most Memorable Journeys today. Lubomira, I'm not going to try it again. Tell me your family name. Mention your family name.
Mlcuchova.
Mlcuchova. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you again. Wish you more and more beautiful, inspiring episodes.
Thank you. If you enjoy my podcast, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. You will find all the information in the show notes.